Hey, are we live? Can anybody hear me? Okay, I'm here. Here I am. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm gonna make this quick. Are we live? Can anybody hear me? Okay. Things that happen when you don't make YouTube videos in a long time. You forget the sound on the other video. But okay, there we go. So I guess everybody can hear me fine since I can hear myself. But with that being said, I got my little notes over here. So I'll give it a second. See some of the people in the chat. How you doing, Bubba? Mr. Sadie, how you doing? Swamp Picker, Grandma's Wrinkles, Lauren, Red Nickerson, Incense Shop. Nice to see you guys. Just coming here. I'm going to talk a little bit about. I was a below standard seller last year. Ran into a little bit of an issue. And, I'm going to kind of talk about what I've learned from that experience. I'll give it probably a minute or two in the chat just to make sure everybody gets in so I'm not repeating myself because it'll just drive me crazy doing that. Celtics are playing, so I got to get back to the Celtics, even though they're losing. Strangest team, they jump out to a great start, and then they go in the shitter. But what are you gonna do? But anyway, we'll get into it. So last year, the problem that got me into the issue was you had too many defects, I guess. Over the course of the year, I'll cancel a sale here or there because I didn't have the item or somehow it got relisted. I couldn't find it. Happened once. Probably there was like one or two issues like that. So no big deal. But I went away last November for Thanksgiving. We went to Orlando. We were away about 2 weeks, give or take. I forgot exactly. And it was right around the time where you had to kind of get into that business policy thing. And you had to kind of set it up. I was kind of new to it. When I used to go on a sale, I was used to not a sale, but like when you change your handling time, I used to go in there, you change your handling time, bulk at it, real bang, 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 quick, changed, and you go about your way. You put your vacation setting on, you do both, you move on, and that's it. And then that guy would adjust it every few days to qualify for the days. Because, if I'm coming back in 3 days, I don't want to have it at 10 days still. But what happened was, what was the question? No, I forgot what I was. Anyway, make a long story short, I had a few things that happened where, I didn't ship stuff out. Somehow, not all the things across the board, the handling time for some reason did not update for everything. So even though I message everybody saying, hey, I'm away right now, it's going to be da-da-da before I can ship it out, everybody's fine. But normal people, they open a case because for some reason eBay let them open a case. I don't know. I didn't remember now because it's been over a year. It's been 13 months. So it took a while, before I really even realized what was going on, because eBay gives you like a grace period to kind of get it back before it really affects you. And what happens is you have you can make up to, you're counted on 3 months if you do 400 or more transactions on eBay. And that's 400 sold items, blah, blah, blah. But you're counted over a year if you do less than that. So I was counted on 3 months. But what happened was, as soon as I lost my top rated selling, all of a sudden now I was, I wasn't selling enough stuff. My sales just tanked. Not for the most part, like there was a steadily little bit of, decrease in sales. It wasn't noticeable in the beginning. For us, our first quarter is usually the best months, like February, March, April, first half of May, usually is our best months. It blows away usually fourth quarter for the most part. I think most people talk about fourth quarter because coming out of summer season for clothing sellers, it seems like Holy cow! You think it's the best thing ever that's happened. So anyway, I had a few cases opened up for items not being delivered in time, and because I didn't update tracking because I was away, they were able to open it. I got hit with a bunch of cases, like I think it was 4 or 5. No, I called eBay. They said it was their issue. They said they were going to fix it. And like eBay, sometimes you kind of have to call them multiple times to get something to be fixed. They're like, "Oh, call us in a few weeks. You don't see it fixed. Call us in a few weeks. You get fixed." And at that time, I really wasn't paying attention to it because technically I didn't lose it because they give you a grace period. I forgot exactly how long it is. And I just assumed like sales were still coming in. No big deal. Like, eh, who cares? It ain't nothing. All of a sudden, when it finally happened, when I became that below sell saying it was probably February, I started to notice a little bit difference in our sales and stuff like that. So, by the time I try calling eBay and trying to fix the issue, they're kind of telling me, well, you're kind of out of pocket because this is open. This is too long ago. We can't really go back and fix it, which I think is bullshit. I called again, got somebody else, kind of the same spiel. It's like you created an issue. You should have fixed the issue. Now I'm calling because I notice it's not really fixed. And, yeah, I'm partially to blame for it, but so are you because, your system did not update properly. And then your system was letting people open cases before they should have. But, it is what it is. I took the hit. I mean, at the end of the day, it's on me, not on eBay. So, I mean, I'll take that L. And, it made me get into the second part of it. Now, I had to change what I buy. Now, when I did a search and I would do a search, my stuff would come up near the bottom of the search, like best match. Just put best match. I'd go through and look for things that maybe there was only 40 or 50 things to look up. Like I'm not putting in Brooks Brothers dress shirt size 16. Like I ain't going through 1,000 listings trying to figure out where that is. Like, no, that ain't happening. So I put like Anderson Shepherd suit or something, or just Anderson Shepherd because there's not really too much from that company. And I had 3 of them at one time, suits, and all coming up near the bottom. And I'm like, ooh, no good. So I figured, okay, we need to get back to 400 sold. So we'll do some auctions. We'll get some cheap shit, sell. And I swear that stuff made my account even worse. I went and bought a whole bunch of from Chad Golden Finger Picker, a bunch of Mardi Gras medallions. Just something small. I was getting a few bucks for them, but it became more of a headache trying to deal with that than it was anything else. It was like twice I missed it by like I think once it was like by 2. I had 398 sales over 3 months. It was like seriously. You're killing me, eBay. Like, what is wrong with you? And another time I missed it by like 8 or 10 or something like that. So I was like, so, and then summer was coming. It was like once summer was coming, I just threw my hands up and it was like, I'm done for 6 months. Like, forget this. But I kind of relaxed over the summer, did my thing. As soon as September came, I hit the ground running, but I did things differently. I went after and I changed what I bought. Now, things that are common, things that were plentiful in the eBay world, I kind of stopped buying those kind of things because I had to buy things that people were looking for and there wasn't much of. So I had to change my whole sourcing, what I look for, and this also goes into like everything. And from that, my sales started going up. I noticed that I was up even more than I was last year. Like all fourth quarter, I was up probably average probably between 25 and I believe September I was up some odd percentage, like 200% from last year. It was crazy. Or was it October? One of those 2 months, it was like I did crazy amount from the year before when I was top rated. And a lot of it had to do with what I was also buying now because I changed what I was buying. And, I'll get to you in a minute there, John. That is something. But I really changed what I was buying. I got into different things, and it actually worked because my sales got better because I stopped buying the regularly common things like going out and buying all the Brooks Brothers shirts I see, or going out and buying all the Ralph Lauren stuff. You really have to be picky with what you buy. Um, and that's kind of what happened a little bit. And also eBay promoted listings came around. I don't remember exactly when they came around now. What was it, like in the midsummer or something like that? I didn't mess with them initially, but then I started to because I wanted to see if there was any increase in traffic and stuff like that. I put it at real low percentage. I mean, it was under 5%. I don't think I ever went over 5%. You change your rate 5%. That was it. And the reason why I did it was because it duplicates my listing. Now I have basically two listings. Yeah, it's a little bit extra percentage, but I'm getting more eyes on that item. Yeah, it kind of sucks in a way, the whole thing, but I've kind of adapted to it and was like, okay, we're going to try it out. Now, most months, I would say 25% of my sales come off of promoted listings going by the eBay dashboard thingy. So it did help. That was a good thing, and it's a little bit percentage. The thing that really, I think, kind of changed a little bit was going from, I used to kind of do good to canceled. I kind of got out of I did 10-day listings for a while. Then I did 30-day listings. And then for whatever reason, I got into good to canceled listings. I don't know why I got into good to canceled listings. I just did it. And I think that was part of the reason. The longer you don't have something sell and it just sits there and it relists and it relists and it just keeps the same number. It doesn't really do anything particular because this item just still has the same number. And even when you look in your eBay store, and if you looked at like oldest to newest, it'll come up there and it'll show you the exact date you put that thing on there. Now, I kind of got into this habit. I would look at it, and then you get people that want to hit you with low offer and this and that. Oh, I see you've had this listed for a year. When somebody did that, I was kind of like, this ain't the way to go, maybe. Really, I don't think this is a good thing. So I kind of took everything off of that, and I was doing 30 days, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to go back to what I used to do, which was 10-day listings. Kind of the same thing that, oh man, what's that name? Now I'm running into a blank here. The Picker Life does with their camera channel. They do 10-day listings. And part of the thing is to get visibility out there. People will go, well, I lose my watchers. People are worried about watchers. It's like, for me, because I share my eBay channel, I share my eBay account and everything like that with our sold videos, stuff like that. I don't know if people are watching my people are really watching my item because they want to buy it, or they watching it because I put it up and people are watching my channel like, oh, I'm curious on what he gets for that. Oh, what did he get? What is he going to get for that? So it's kind of interesting. But I mean, anything that has a watcher, let's say anything has over in 10 days, if anything has over 2 watchers, I will relist that item. Anything under that gets sell similar. So the reason why I do the relist is because those people will be notified when I relist it. And then it gives me time to adjust. Like if I see something that's not, if let's say a listing like 3 weeks in a row is getting 10 watchers in 10 days, but it's not selling, I adjust the price a little bit. I did it the other day with a belt sander. I had a belt sander. I had it up for $119. And I think I ran a 10% sale, so it was down to like 108 for a while. I was getting this one guy hit me with, he was out in California, hit me with like $75. How about $100 shipped? And I'm like, dude, that's the same thing as the $75 plus the shipping that I had. He was this heavy duty belt sander. I have 2 of them actually that we had for a while. Freaking stop it. But so I relist it. And as soon as I relist it, I relist it for $99.99, figuring, okay, this is going to get some traction most likely. It's sold with probably an hour relisting that item. So I just had it maybe priced a little bit higher. Now it had some condition issues. It's going to be need to be recorded. It works, but there's some slicing on the cord. It's maxed up with electrical tape and stuff like that. But and also he was close. He lived in Schenectady, New York, which is a lot better than shipping something to California when you put a flat rate on it. But it was pretty good with that. That was pretty good. So it shows me, and I think Pete kind of does it this way too, if I remember right. You kind of get something, you have the more eyes on it. You can kind of watch it better than instead of listing it and forgetting about it. I have a lot less inventory than I have. I'm not even at 500 listings, and I'm doing just as good as I had when I almost had 1,000 listings in a warehouse. So I don't know. Another thing that really hurts though is, and I just found this out because I didn't really know this. I don't know how many other people know this too. But hold on a second. Let me see here. Okay. I gotta make sure I have the thing. Let me do a screen share and show you the message that eBay sent me today, because today was the first day that I got out of that. I'm gonna go over here, and you can see right here, it says keep momentum going, nice work, Ronnie, blah, blah, blah. The part that got me here is you may no longer pay a final value fee that is higher than the one you normally pay on your items sold in the US. It's like, wait, what happened here? Were you guys really charging me extra for being a bad seller? Like, not only are you punishing me with kicking my shit to the bottom of searches and stuff like that, you're punishing me because I'm being a bad seller, or because I had some hiccups. I mean, I'm not a bad seller. I was like, yo, talk about a kick in the balls. It's like, come on, man, seriously. So it's kind of interesting on that. And another thing I noticed when I did some shipping today, that not on first class, but on international, I mean, on what do you call it? On priority shipping. Priority shipping is cheaper. So they must punish you in that way too, where you don't get as good rates on your shipping through the United States Postal Service through the Postal Service. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. I noticed I got a better rate when I was doing the shipping, because it's, a suit. I usually send a suit. I send enough suits a month to know it's at a £3 rate and where it's going, how much it's going to be. So when I seen the rate today, I was like, that's a few dollars. That, it's probably $1 cheaper, maybe, I think it was. And I was like, that's cheaper. That's interesting to know. So it's kind of weird how they punish you, and they, it took a while, but I adapted to what we did and changed. Now, if anybody has any questions on this subject, or any questions in general, I mean, I got a little bit of time. I can hang out with you guys and talk with you for a little bit. I don't want to run into Bearded Picker and Shane's show at 10 o'clock, but I'll talk with you guys and hang out with you guys for a little bit if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But let me see here. Okay. Just checking. I always get confused when I do these things alone. I forgot where my chat went now. Now I'm all clustered. Okay, there I am. I found the chat again. Hey, will you also take away your ability to have a premium store? A premium store is the middle store. They actually did take down the ability to have a premium store, and I had to take whatever the lower level store is, which I thought was weird too. I do have a second account, but I was using it more for selling signs and a few other items. I don't usually regularly use it. Occasionally I'll auction on that site for something that is valuable, because eBay is what's the word? Because eBay is, what's the word on this? Because my YouTube channel and stuff like that, and I've seen where people got messed with. Like, there was a lot of people that run an auction on their regular channel that people know about, and they run an auction, and all kinds of chaos opens up on that auction and stuff like that on a valuable item or a different item. I didn't want to have that issue, so I didn't do that. Um, it went on for a year there, Mr. Sadie. 1 year I got stuck in that chaos. So that's it. My second account, I have to build up a little bit better. I only have like 20 feedback over the last year or so. If you've seen the channel, you would realize. If you ever seen the name, you would be like, "Oh, I know that would be Roddy's channel." What is your opinion on PayPal loan? I don't know. I've never took one. I guess if you need the capital, I mean, I guess it's a good thing. I mean, I've known some people that have took it and had good things and bad things, but I don't know. If I needed one, I know I can get one. I'm not sure exactly what I could get out of it, but it's a tool. But if you got to use it correctly, I guess is the word. Because you got to figure out. I can only go by what other people have told me from using it. Like, if you use one of those, for instance, and they're taking out 30% of your sales, your gross sales. So let's say, just make easy numbers. You're doing 10,000. That's 3,000 coming off the top. You got to make up the difference now. If you were just getting by or something like that. So you got to make up that difference. So you probably got to increase it to like 15,000, I would think. So, I mean, it's what you can do. If it works for you, it works for you. I mean, I don't know. If somebody came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I have, 1,000 Canali suits, this or that, or something, or we got pallets of really high-end clothes, would you want it?" And I didn't want to take my own money to use it. It's a tool that you can use, but it has to be used correctly, I would think. Also, when you top rated seller, you don't get the $100 UPS insurance for free. I did not know that either. That's interesting. There's a lot of things, like, I was looking up information on it, and there's a lot of things I forgot at the time, like, as I'm doing it. I forgot about the premium store thing. I thought that was pretty crappy. How did your sign haul go the other day? Sign haul went terrible. Yesterday, I drove all the way up to New Hampshire, about 3 hours away. I thrifted along the way. I got contacted by a guy that was looking to sell some signs. One of them I wanted possibly for the wife. It was a 8 foot by 4 foot Coca-Cola sign, porcelain, probably around 30s. That was real, but he really wasn't willing to work on the price that much. But he's willing to work on these other signs that he bought on eBay. But they weren't real. They were reprops or reproduction signs. You can tell, and I want to do a thing about this, but one of the ways you could look at it is, like, look at the rust. The rust don't look correct. You know what I mean? The rust doesn't look correct. Like, it doesn't look like normal rust that you would see on metal. It's like a pinkish or reddish color. It just looks like an odd rust color. Like, grommets would be missing on signs, but there's no chipping around the porcelain, so it doesn't make any sense. Another thing is, like, you see that Coca-Cola sign there, it has multiple colors in it. That's probably 30s, the long one there with the multiple colors. And the way they bake the enamel or the porcelain on there, they do it color by color. So as you rub your hand over it, it has a sheathing to it, or a shelving. I forgot exactly what they pronounce it or call it. I've heard people call it both ways, so I'm not exactly sure. But there's like a little bumps to it. It's not flat. And a lot of those signs were flat. You run your hand over it. That didn't come into probably like the mid to late 60s to where they would make porcelain signs and they would be all one thing. This is one color at a time gets into a sign, and the other color is on top of the other color. So it has that has a little bumps where you could feel it if you rub your hand across a sign that's supposed to be old. You would know. Just things like that. And then I just got talking to him. I was told him I wasn't really concerned about his sign. Where'd he get them? Oh, I got a good deal on them from eBay. They were on auction. I pick them up here and there. And then I started to explain my issues with the signs. Then he started to realize that it very well possibly could have been issues. And, at that point, I was already wearing out my welcome. I think at that point, it was time for me to go. So it was a good thing. And the worst part was when I went up there, I went to like 10 thrift stores during the day or 12 thrift stores. I ran into another reseller that watches my channel up in New Hampshire, in Portsmouth, Portsmouth, Port something. I don't remember the name of it now. But I ran into him walking into the Salvation Army. It was kind of fun, interesting. He's like, "Hey, you Ronnie?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. That's me." But it was good. It's always fun running into other people, talking to you. As long as they don't run into you and talk to you in front of a cashier or something, or in front of an employee, it's always the like, my God, no bueno. But yo, Ronnie, what is the value of all the Coca-Cola signs behind me? I don't know exactly. The middle one there, the horizontal one is probably about $600. It's a Spanish one. Instead of where it says drink, it says toma, which is drink in Spanish. It's probably about $500-$600 sign. If it was the American one, actually, there's more of them, but it's actually worth more money in that condition. It's a really clean sign. The little button's a 12-inch button. It's on that sign, the vertical sign there, but the vertical sign actually goes with a 16-inch button. I just put it with that for now because we have that one. The button's probably I say $250 to $400 based on condition, and the vertical sign is probably without the button, 4 to 6 based on condition. If you have the button, you're looking at probably condition of a sign $700 to $1,200, probably somewhere in there. I've seen some sell even higher. Just depends on the condition. If you have a sign from the 40s that is mint, and they're both tin as that horizontal one's vertical. The others are just plates there for now, are trays, and they vary in price. I think only one of those is original. Let me see here. So they make you pay more and you sell less. Sounds right. Yeah, it's about right. It's about right. Screw you. Well, Tiffany, it's glad that you figured out how to comment, and now you can comment more. Welcome to the show. John, nevermore. I just seen that earthquake thing before I came into work today. I didn't feel no earthquake. The only earthquake that I've ever felt was when I lived in the Dominican Republic. I felt the earthquake they had over there in Haiti, and that was in, if I remember right, the spring of 2010. I think I remember we were playing a board game, me and the wife, up by the pool in the parking garage where we used to live. And sometimes trucks, really heavy trucks, would, like 18-wheelers, would drive by we live kind of near a main road, and you would feel like some vibrations in the parking garage. And my wife said, "Oh, you feel that?" And I'm like, "You've been drinking too much today, honey." But shortly after that, when we came downstairs, eventually, like an hour later, we seen all the reports that there was I think it was like, a 7.5 earthquake there. So I think it was the deadliest earthquake, if I remember right. Like, a 250,000 people. Kind of crazy. Because, I mean, it could happen in the Dominican Republic and have even worse things if one hit like that in Santo Domingo. It would, I mean, a city of 4 million people, that could be pretty crazy, where you have all big buildings. towers and stuff like that, or whatever you want to call them, skyscrapers. Let me see here. What state are you from? We're from Massachusetts, home of the liberals, I guess. Not a liberal. Don't get me confused. How often do you get scammed by a buyer? I literally cannot tell you the last time I've got scammed by a buyer. It does not help. It does not happen too much ever. I never get scammed by a buyer. Very rarely. I think, and when you're being scammed, like I think once maybe, and I've been reselling about 7 years now. It just never really happens that often for me. I mean, I know other people that get scammed here and there. And what are good names to look for in old oil signs? I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for because there's values based on the signs. No, values will change every day. Values. Maybe I could do some shows on, or maybe I could bring people in that may be more educated in signs than I am onto the show. I do know a lot of people, acquaintances and stuff like that. Maybe they would be better to ask them. But there's a lot of different brands like Mobile and Texaco, Sinclair. Then you have your harder to find brands. Like just in Massachusetts, you had Jenny Gas or Oil, which is Boston based. You had Oil Zoom, which are Worcester. And a lot of these stuffs are hard to come by, so there is a price for it. It might not be the most desirable sign because of the graphics or because of the way it looks, but it's desirable because there's not many of them, and it's desirable to a region. You try selling this sign in Washington State, it might not be as valuable as you bring it back to New England area and try to sell it. So a lot of that plays in fact too, that signs are worth more in regional and stuff like that too. And everything goes based on condition too. But there's a lot of fakes out there. You need to, just on eBay alone, probably easily 99% of the signs that are sold on eBay, 99% of the signs on eBay are either fantasy signs, which were signs that were never made, they kind of, or repop signs, especially any sign from India is a repop sign. You can go on eBay and if it wouldn't take long to put in porcelain gas sign or something, a porcelain mobile sign, and look and then see somebody selling it from India, and you'll see them selling the same sign over and over and over. And I don't know how people keep buying them. I don't know what they think. Like, this guy has 10 in the back room. I mean, gas stations were in America, they had gas stations in India, but they would have been in Indian or whatever they speak. I don't know what they speak. Hindu? I have no idea. I sound crazy sometimes, I guess. But when are you gonna bring back some shows regularly? I'm hoping the first of the year there's gonna be a lot of, I'll be on here more often. The wife is back to work full time. She's away right now dealing with our vacation property in the Dominican Republic, getting all the financing and everything ready. Our property has finally been built, finished, and we're just waiting on some things. I gotta eventually go there down the road and help out with the paperwork and stuff like that. Unfortunately, they need my signature too. But there's no reason for both of us to go this time because it was more stuff to do, and I don't want my wife worrying about entertaining me while we're away there. So I might as well just hang out here and make some money and do what I do best. I don't like marijuana. No, like that stuff. That's nasty. Twigs and stuff and some rum mixed or whatever, or wine. I've seen them put wine in there before. It's like, I got some over there. It's been there. It's been aged for about 8 years now, or 9 years. Not good. One day, if my friend Rodrigo, who gave it to me, ever comes, I'll drink it with him. But that's about it. I try to find the same brands as you do, but only find occasionally high-end brands. Do you have a particular honey hole or do you care to find Brioni suits and chitin shirts at your Goodwill mainly? I mean, Brioni. I mean, I found a bunch of Brioni at one store like 2 months ago, probably. You know, somebody just happened to donate it. I found it, and you know, it was good. I mean, I found it one day, and that happens to all of us. We'll go to a store, and we'll find multiples of stuff from one person donated. Every once in a while, we get lucky, and it's like, holy shit, one person drops off a bunch of good stuff. It does not happen regularly. I mean, I've been out to about 50 thrift stores in the last, I'll say, week or so. I did not find any Brioni, and I didn't find any chitin. No, I did find a really cool vintage Polo Ralph Lauren shirt that I just listed. It's new with the tags from 1992, but you see it's for the America Cup thing. Still the tag on it. So, I mean, this was pretty cool. I don't know what it's going to go for exactly. Prices for similar things are like all over the place, but I don't find Brioni. I rarely find chitin, to tell you the truth, or however you want to pronounce that. That is one I found maybe 5 or 6 dress shirts over 6, 7, almost 7 years now. I found one suit and maybe 2 jackets. So it's not every day that we find that stuff. I mean, Brioni, I mean, and maybe I found, with the ones I found, maybe 25 suits and sport coats over 7 years. So, I mean, do the average one every, 3 months? It's not that regularly. So, and we have a lot of resellers out here in this area too. It's constantly people out there trying to do the same thing we are. So what's a good goal listing wise to aim for in a day? I have racks of clothing and not much mojo to flow. That's kind of funny. I know for myself, I try to list at least 20 a day or 15 a day. I try to keep it simple to where I can actually meet that goal. I've kind of changed a little bit how I do it. I used to just try to list everything in one day. Now I kind of make drafts as I get stuff, and then I take photographs. I have to take the photographs now, which I'm pretty good at taking photographs for the most part. The suits kind of get me a little confused. So my wife will still help me with those, but she works full time now. She's got the job that she wanted, and she wants a lot of things. Like, we know the housing market's going to crash here eventually. It can't keep going the same way. It can't keep going where it's been going, which is freaking through the roof. So it has to be a level off at some point. So we're waiting. This is the year. We're just throwing all kinds of money in the bank. She'll be working. Her job is, I mean, she should make easily well plus, 50,000 this year. And I want to do more reselling and stuff like that. So hopefully everything will work out well. It doesn't have to be all the pressure now of trying to get all that money from just reselling. She wasn't, her reselling was not, she wasn't into it 100% right now. Maybe when she gets her house, she'll be like, I'm done. I mean, if there's some point she's gonna get pregnant, and it's only a matter of time, and then it's back all on me. There's no work after that. So reselling is always going to be the thing. We're trying to have a kid. It's eventually going to happen. Could be a little Ronnie or a little Gretchen. So what's up, Mr. Crazy Pick a Life? Where the hell have you been? I miss your channel. Though then again, I haven't made a video that often either. But that's it. So there's a lot of things we want to work on. There's a lot of things we want to get done this year, and I think she's just set in her way. We want to pay off a lot of debt, pay off a lot of different things. Everything about my car loan, I really don't care about, because I really don't have much debt though. I think credit card debt really is like $1,000, maybe $1,500. Not really all that much, and I could really pay it off tomorrow if I wanted to. It's kind of, we got credit cards that don't really have high limits, or high interest rates, I should say. And there's also my car loan, which is 2%, 2.9% financing, which it's kind of hard for me to. I think I owe like 20. I don't know, like 24,000 or 25 on my truck, and it's kind of hard for me to pay that and think like, oh wow, you're doing great, or get that out of the way. But it's like, for what reason? I could use that money for other things. Down payment on a house. But what's up, Karen at the beach and Thrifty Treasures? Tanya, how are you? I haven't seen you around in a while. How is everything? Is everything good? Treasure Vinchits. Two hip chicks. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. We got 111 watches. Having fun with myself tonight. But if there's any more questions, let me know. I got a few minutes, and that's it. I'm out of here. But everything's good. Let me see. Thank you, Andrew, for the super chat. Men's clothing forever. Find any Paul Stewart lately? I rarely ever find a Paul Stewart suit or sport coat. I don't pick up the dress shirts. I did pick up some ties not too long ago. I do like selling ties, but ties are super long tail. Actually, when I was at a Savers on Tuesday, I was at a Savers that I haven't really had much luck in forever, and they put out a bunch of ties. And I could tell because they had the newer tag of the week, and it's senior day. And I really don't like going on senior day just because the stores are packed. And, it's just, you have a little more competition in on those days. If there's a reseller and they're a little bit older, they're going to be in there to get that discount. I think it's 30% they get. So I went by the ties, and I noticed one. First one I noticed was a Drake's tie. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I found a second Drake's tie, and I found a third, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Never found this brand. Know about it, never find it. It's an English tie maker. So I found those, and then I went through looking through all the yellow ones, thinking, okay, what else is here? And it was like a Zegna Canali. There was a Hermes. There was a Brooks Brothers Gatsby collection, or the Great Gatsby. So, I mean, I found a bunch. I even found a Trafalgar suspenders. Listed those ties the other day. I sold one of the Salvatore Ferragamos already for $50. I sold the Brooks Brothers with the Great Gatsby for $50. I sold the Trafalgar for $60. I was like, oh, there we go. Usually ties are really super long tail. They will take, on average, I kid you not, a year. So if you're ever thinking about buying a tie, it will take a year. Happy holidays from Southeastern Mass. And yeah, I wonder how that Savers is in Plymouth. I rarely go to that Savers. I have not found anything good in that Savers in a while. It's been a while. What else do we have here? I see more people cross-posting on Poshmark and eBay. Are they doing well on Poshmark? I tried both. I gave up on Poshmark. I really didn't like it. Becky, is it too hard to sell suit coats without the pants? Yes. Or less, I'm going to say like this. If it's a pinstripe suit, it's going to be really hard to sell it. They don't sell very well. Now, if it's black suit, black suits are very hard to sell. A black sport coat, because black's kind of a weird, it's just a weird thing to wear with and a lot of times suits are 3-button depending on the older styles, so you run into that issue a lot. Like if it's blue, you might get away with selling it. Like I picked up a few Brioni ones, and they were sport coats, and I picked up a chitin, but they were based on the brand. I picked them up. I would not pick up just random suit jackets and try listing them, because I think Andrew's, I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but I think you picked up some of those, didn't you, Andrew? And I don't know how they did, but I know when we had the warehouse, I got rid of any damn suit jacket that we had listed that was um I got rid of everything. Everything that was a suit jacket, it was gone. Just there was no way. Going through the comments, I'm missing a lot of stuff. My thing keeps bouncing all over the place. So when are you coming to the Northwest Kansas to pick Jump John 2019, September 2019? Why not? Not no, I don't know who you're talking to, but Crazy Picker, like, that sounds like fun. I remember you making the videos on that. That just seems like fun, fun, fun. Bring a U-Haul trailer and bring a trailer in general. Just have fun. I try to fill that trailer with everything. We have long winters over here. That's all I know. Let me see here. I had a Zegna in my store for 1 year and 14 days. I sold a Zegna suit that was a really nice, recent Zegna suit that I picked up last summer, and it took me to last month to sell it. So it was listed like 14 months. I don't know what it was. No idea. It was a beautiful, beautiful Zegna suit. Decent size, 46 long, but just didn't sell. I don't know if it was because it was like a dark brown pinstripe or what. Pinstripe suits are kind of out though. I think chalk line, those kind of suits are, I think, are out. I just don't think people like those as much. Ron, do you have problems with dark blue clothing? If so, how do you correct it? I haven't noticed it yet, but I haven't really been photographing a lot of my stuff yet. I just started getting back into photographing the stuff because Gretchen was photographing it. So I started photographing it now that she's away. So we'll get into it and look and see what's going on and go from there. But I gotta get a new lighting kit. I think my lighting kit. I don't know. I think it needs more light. It's in a room that doesn't get much light, so it's not really helping the issue either. So I've noticed that. But we are looking for a warehouse or a storage unit because I mean not a storage unit. I have a storage unit. I'm showing HV Flips and Lonnie and all them earlier today. My storage unit, it's like 10 by 30 and it's filled up with just junk that I sell locally and stuff like that. But let me see. I spotted several fake Zegna ties at a local thrift store. Fortunately, I figured it out before buying them. There was we had a bunch of fake ones not too long. Like, well, no, it was probably about a year ago. I was in Springfield, Massachusetts. I was going home, so this is longer than that. This was last summer then. When I went to Chicago, I was over there, and there was a bunch, and you could just feel by feeling the. It was not silk. It was like a polyester. It was really weird. And then when you check the little tail, it said made in China, and I know Zegna don't make their ties in China. Is 14 too much to pay for a Brioni tie? Local boutique thrift store prices on 12 to 14. Most of Brioni ties that I've gotten in the past usually sell between, I would say, 40 to 60. If you had more like if it was a better pattern, maybe like a paisley pattern or something like that, maybe you could get towards the topper. I mean, people get more than that for them usually, but I have a problem getting anything more than that for a tie. And since ties take forever to sell, I would not spend that much. I would have them sit there. I'd try to get them on a half off day or try to talk to a manager or something, you know. Discount, they got a discount or something like that. But Ronnie, what Brooks Brothers shirts do you recommend selling, if any, maybe in lots? I actually picked up 3 over the last few days. I only pick up the dress shirts usually, and they got to be non-iron. And the 2 of them were brand new with tags, why I picked them up. The other one has a nice blue and white check pattern. So I felt like I couldn't go wrong with that pattern. I usually try to stay with the bigger sizes, like 17 and a half, 18, 19 inch. If you can get to like a 20 inch, if you ever find like a 20-inch neck on a dress shirt, it's usually really good, especially Brooks Brothers, because the larger sizes from them, even when the suits, like you get to 48, 50, 52, rarely do they have that big of Brooks Brothers stuff. So usually that stuff you can get a premium for. But for the most part, I've skipped over a lot of Brooks Brothers shirts over the last year or so because, like I said, I was a below standard, and there's a lot of them on eBay. They don't even cost that much new. I mean, new there. I think the two price tags say $80 and $92, so it's hard to get a lot of money used on a shirt like that. Or I stay with like white or blue ones. I'll find them, and especially if I find like a few of them, I'll lot them together and try to get like 25, 30 for them in lots. And usually the white or blue, if it's like a solid blue, will do well. White, if you find black dress shirts are really hard to find, but they usually do really well too. Let's all go to the Junk John in September. I think that would be fun. Let me see here. Thank you, Nevermore, John, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Do you pick up Brooks Brothers jackets? It all depends on the material and what it is. There's certain Brooks Brothers lines that do really well, like what do you want to call it? Like the 818 line's a little bit better line. The black fleece line they used to make is in with Tom Brownie. That's a little bit better. The golden fleece is made to orders. The newer ones, the older ones, I think automatically say it. The older suits do pretty well. It just depends on the material and the sizes, kind of somewhat. There's a lot of Brooks Brothers suits out there, a lot of sport jackets out there. I mean, this is one of the most common brands that people buy. It's kind of inexpensive. It's not that. It's kind of like one of the brands that you would buy, like if you're stepping outside of like the mall stores, that then you buy that stuff at the outlets now too. Brooks Brothers got outlets all over the place, so it's readily available pretty much. Like the blazers usually do well if you could find the ones with the gold buttons. Those will usually do well. They're a blazer because anything with a gold button is a blazer. Blazer is kind of like looks like an old uniform. Technically, old uniform would have some type of metal buttons. That's a blazer technically, or they'd have mother of pearl button, really nice, detailed buttons. Let me see. What is the least and the most you've made in a week? Sales on eBay seems always fluctuating. I've made my worst week on eBay. I kid you not. I think I did like $200 on eBay. And it was probably in the summer. It was really bad. Like maybe I had a few little sales, but because in the summer, a lot of what I sell don't sell. Sport coats don't sell. Suits don't sell usually. Jackets don't sell. Sweaters don't sell. So I'm stuck selling like men's dress shirts. Jeans don't sell. As the jean professor there figured out pretty quickly that you could have all the jeans you want to list in the world. As soon as summertime comes, your sales drop off. Nobody's buying jeans in the summertime. And I think the best I ever did was in November of 2014. It was right around $4,000 for the month, I think, or 40. I think I had a picture of it. I think it's on Instagram. It was like 4,300 maybe. But I had one day where I did, I think 1,700 was my best day. 17. And talk about fluctuation. My best day was 1,765. The next day I sold one item for $100. So if I didn't sell that one item, I would have got a goose egg. So it just goes to show you, you could fluctuate big time. And I don't have a huge amount of items, so I'll see a huge fluctuation. Like today, I think I've sold. Actually, today's been a pretty decent today. Today's been about 6 things for about 600, so it's not been that bad. Yeah, Crazy Pick a Life are crazy. They doing like they like $250,000 a year sellers. They really doing big things over there. I think they are. They're about $250,000 if I remember right. I don't have the suit. I don't have the suit, but I have about 50 Brooks Brothers suits and pants hangers. I've sold some suits and pants hangers before in groups. I don't know if they still bring money. You'd have to look on eBay. I don't know what you're talking about. $500. Do you do console? Console? No, I don't do that. I barely have enough time to make YouTube videos. Like I wouldn't want to. I think it's talking to me. I don't know who you guys are talking to. I have every once in a while I have a 0 day in the summer. 0 days are kind of common for me for a clothing seller, because part of the thing is I don't list in the summer very regularly. I kind of slow down in the summer. I help out my friend's restaurant a lot, and I'm just not in the mood. Like I can't do eBay 40, 50 hours a week year round because I'll burn out. So in the summertime, when clothing kind of slows down and eBay slows down, I sell a lot more signs. I get stuff for Amazon, get Amazon going. So I don't, I don't need to go out to as many thrift stores and stuff like that. I can buy and sell one sign and maybe buy a sign for $900, flip that sign for $2,000 and make $1,000 and be comfortable for that week. Just selling that one item. I don't need to go and find all those things that aren't selling in the summertime, because it's not selling in the summertime. It's not much to do. So what else? That's it. But I don't want to run into Scott's time. But if you guys are all over here and you guys are looking for something else to do, run over to the Bearded Pickers channel and go watch Bearded Picker. I may go over there because I still got to get some listings done. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming by tonight. Make sure hit that thumbs up button down, up, down, doesn't matter. Share, like, comment, subscribe, say hello. But I'll end. I'll try to do this real quick. What is your favorite thrift store? I like Savers. I like Goodwill. I like Salvation Army. I like mom and pop stores. I like all thrift stores. I don't discriminate. Did you visit all Savers here in Massachusetts? What town is your favorite? I think I visited every Savers in New England. And there's a lot of them in Massachusetts. There's like, what, 2 in Springfield. There was 2 in Worcester. They closed one of them. There's 1 in Framingham, Norwood, Denham, Roxbury, Plymouth, Hanover, Fall River, New Bedford. There's 1, where is it? Lynn, I think. Swans. I get confused with the ones up on the North Shore because I don't get up that way too often. But we got quite a bunch of Savers over here. It's way too many. We have more Savers than probably Goodwill for our Salvation, our Goodwills. Definitely more than Goodwills. So all the Goodwills are concentrated in the city of Boston for the most part, except for a few out on the end of Western Mass. There's one on the Cape, 1 on Worcester, and I think the rest of them are in or around Boston. It's kind of crazy. But that's about it. I don't really have a favorite one, I guess. My favorite one used to be, I would say, probably the Hanover one, but that one hasn't done that well for me of late. So I think that one is Norwell. Norwell, is it? Denham. It's right in that stretch on the Boston Providence Highway there. Yeah, I've been to New Bedford. It's only about 45 minutes away. It's not that far. what are your business plans for 2019? To make more than I made last year. I know I keep saying that, but for the last 3 years, I've been stuck in the same bubble about somewhere. I usually make the last 3 years, I think I've made around 170, $180,000. I can't seem, I was just talking with somebody else about this the other day. That, getting these one-offs and doing this is kind of crazy. It seems like I'm hitting this wall and I can't get past it anymore. And that's eBay, Amazon, local Facebook, stuff like that. I just can't seem to get past that. That there's like a wall there. And that wall's that 180, I'll say, and it's just, I can't figure it out. I'm trying to think who I was talking with. Monica, I think, the posh hanger. It's just I keep hitting that wall and I can't get through it, and I got to find a way to get around it, or I got to get smarter, one or the other. But see you guys later. Have a good day. Thank you guys for joining. See ya.